إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله وسلم عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. Proceed. قال شيخ الإسلام ابن تيمية رحمه الله تعالى: وكل بني آدم لا تتم مصلحتهم لا في الدنيا ولا في الآخرة إلا بالاجتماع والتعاون والتناصر. He said, as regards every human community on the face of the earth, whether they are Muslim or non-Muslim, whether they are atheistic or from the people of the book, whether they are on the east of the earth or its west, he said, كل بني آدم, all of the children of Adam, every human being, every human community on the face of the earth, لا تتم مصلحتهم لا في الدنيا ولا في الآخرة. Will not have what is of a greater good for them realized by them in this world or the hereafter, إلا بالاجتماع, unless they come together, والتعاون والتناصر, and unless they cooperate with one another, and unless they help one another. فتعاون على جلب منافعهم وتناصر لدفع مضارهم. And so they are to cooperate with one another and bringing about what is of a mutual good for one another. And they are to help one another in repelling away from each other that which is harmful to their community. وَلِهَذَا يُقَالُ, and for this reason it was said in the past, الْإِنسَانُ مَدَنِيٌّ بِالطَّبْعِ, that mankind is a social creature. فإذا اجتمعوا فلا بد له من أمور يفعلونها ويجتلبون بها المصلحة. He said, and so when they come together, and so when people come together, then there must be affairs that they are doing collectively to bring about benefit for one another. وأمور يجتنبونها لما فيها من المفسدة. And there must be affairs that they are staying away from because of what they contain of harm for them. ويكونون مطيعين للآمر بتلك المقاصد والناهي عن تلك المفاسد. And they must be obedient to the one who was ordering them with that which is of a benefit for them, and the one who is forbidding them from that which is harmful for them. فجميع بني آدم لا بد له من طاعة آمر وناهي. And so every human community is in need of being obedient to those that are ordering them with what is beneficial and forbidding them from that which is harmful. فمن لم يكن من أهل الكتب الإلهية ولا من أهل دين فإنهم يطيعون ملوكهم فيما يرون أنه يعود بمصالح دنياهم. As for those people who do not follow, and he's speaking about his time, as for those people who do not follow divine scriptures, they are not following revelation, they are not following what was sent by Allah to a prophet or a messenger. As for those people that are not like that, then they obey their kings and that which they view to be beneficial for them in the affairs of their dunya. مُصِيبِينَ تَارَةً وَمُخْتِئِينَ أُخْرَى. And they are correct sometimes and they are incorrect at others. وأهل الأديان الفاسدة من المشركين وأهل الكتاب المستمسكين به بعد التبديل أو بعد النسخ والتبديل مطيعين فيما يرون أنه يعود عليه بمصالح دينهم ودنياهم. And as for the people who practice corrupt religions, from the people of shirk and from Ahlul Kitab and from the Jews and the Christians, المستمسكين به بعد التبديل, who are still holding on to Judaism or Christianity after it had been changed, أو بعد النسخ والتبديل, or those that were holding on to it after it had been abrogated by Islam, and replaced by Islam, and after their scriptures have been changed, مطيعون فيما يرون أنه يعود عليهم بمصالح دينهم ودنياهم, then they cooperate with and they obey their leaders as regards that which they view to be of a benefit for them in their religious affairs and their worldly affairs. وغير أهل الكتاب منهم من يؤمن بالجزاء بعد الموت ومنهم من لا يؤمن به. And from the people who are outside of Ahlul Kitab, there are some who believe that there will be a reward or punishment, that there is benefit or harm that a person can get after death. And some of them do not believe in that. وَأَمَا أَهْلُ الْكِتَابِ فَمُتَّفِقُونَ عَلَى الْجَزَاءِ بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ. While the people of the scripture believe, while the people of the previous scriptures believe that there is some reward or punishment after death. لكن الجزاء في الدنيا متفق عليه أهل الأرض. He said, but all of the people of the earth believe that if you do good in this world, you will get good in this world. And if you oppress people in this world, then you will be punished in this world. All of the people of this earth believe that there is a reward or punishment. There is a system of reward or punishment that has been set into place. فَإِنَّ النَّاسِ لَمْ يَتَنَازَعُوا فِي أَنْ عَاقِبَةَ الظُّلْمِ وَخِيمَةً وَعَاقِبَةَ الْعَدْلِ كَرِيمَةً. For verily the people do not differ over the fact that the end result of oppression is horrible and the end result of justice is noble. وَلِهَذَا يُرْوَى اللَّهُ يَنْصُرُ الدَّوْلَةَ الْعَادِلَةَ وَإِنْ كَانَتْ كَافِرَةً وَلَا يَنْصُرُ الدَّوْلَةَ الظَّالِمَةَ وَإِنْ كَانَتْ مُؤْمِنَةً. And for this reason it has been reported and has been mentioned by the people of the past that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala may aid and give victory to a just nation even if they are disbelievers. And He will not aid or give victory to an oppressive nation even if they are believers. وَإِذَا كَانَ لَابُدْ مِنْ طَاعَةِ آمِرٍ وَنَاهِ فَمَعْلُومًا دُخُولَ الْمَرْءِ فِي طَاعَةِ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ خَيْرٌ لَهُ. And since it is imperative for any community of people, to obey someone who is ordering them with that which is beneficial, and to obey somebody in as regards they're forbidding them from that which is harmful, then it is known أن دخول المرء في طاعة الله ورسوله خير له, that a person entering into obedience to Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is what is best for him. وهو الرسول النبي الأمي المكتوب في التوراة والإنجيل الذي يأمر بالمعروف وينهى عن المنكر ويحل لهم الطيبات ويحرم عليهم الخبائث وذلك هو الواجب على جميع الخلق. For verily He is the prophet and the messenger who was unlettered, that they find prophesied and written about in the previous scriptures, who would order them with the good and forbid them from every evil, and who would deem that which is, and who would declare that which is good and beneficial to be permissible for them, and would forbid them from everything that is harmful and disgusting. And that is what is mandatory upon all of the creation. Meaning, and that is the core and the basis for the building of a community. Obedience to Allah and obedience to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Al-Islamu huwa al-hal. Islam, brothers and sisters, it is a solution. Islam, brothers and sisters, it is a solution for all of the mashakil that people face. Al-Shaykh al-Sa'adi, rahimahullah ta'ala, he wrote a tremendous book called Ad-Dinu Sahih, Yahullu Jami' al-Mashakil. And we encourage all of you to read that book, and it is translated into English. That the correct religion is a solution for all problems. For verily we live in a time where the people have taken a secular viewpoint about which Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said in the Quran, وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ يَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ عَنِ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. That the majority of people have no knowledge, and they only know 1 hour manifestation of the life of this world, while they are heedless of the hereafter. They don't believe in al-jaza ba'd al-maut. They don't believe that there will be a reward after death. And if they believe in it, they don't believe that it has any relevance to their day-to-day affairs. For verily, the majority of the earth are upon the madhab. They are upon the school of thought of al-ilmaniyah, of what is called secularism. Which some of the people say it is fasluddin an ad-dawla. It is removing the religion from the state. But what is more correct to say, because the affairs of secularism go far beyond just the affairs of politics. what is safer to say about those who live in secular societies and those that were raised and their parents are raised and their children are being raised in secular societies? Because al-hukmu ala shay far'un an tasawwurihi. Because before you can pass judgment upon a thing, you must have a full realization of what that thing is. The ulama of Islam, they say, and haqiqat al-ilmaniyah, that the reality of secularism, is faslu din an al-hayat. It is removing religion entirely from the affairs of life. It is removing religion entirely from the affairs of life. Al-Imam Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentioned the ramifications of what a person goes through when they are upon obedience to Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And when the basis of their community and the basis of the smaller community, which is the family, is built upon obedience to Allah and their Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, while they are around a people who are not like that and surrounded by a people who are not like that. قال رحمه الله تعالى في زاد المعاد. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he said in Zad al-Ma'ad, قال إن الإنسان مدني بالطبع لابد أن يعيش مع الناس والناس لهم إرادات وتصورات واعتقادات. He said, may Allah have mercy upon him, and these words are from the book Ighathat al-Ahfan, and he mentioned the likes of this in his book Zad al-Ma'ad. He said, may Allah have mercy upon him, that mankind is urban in nature, that mankind is a social creature, and it is unavoidable for him to live amongst other people. وَالنَّاسُ لَهُمْ إِرَادَاتٍ وَتَصَوُّرَاتٍ. And the people, they have their own intentions, and they have their own ambitions, and they have their own tasawwurat, they have their own perceptions and conceptions. وَاعْتِقَادَاتٍ. And they have their own systems of beliefs. فَيَطْلُبُونَ مِنْهُ أَنْ يُوَافِقَهُمْ عَلَيْهَا. And they require from him that he agrees with them concerning what they are upon. فَإِن لَمْ يُوَافِقْهُمْ آذَوْهُ وَعَذَّبُوهُ. And if he does not agree with them, then they will harm him and they will punish him. فَإِن وَافَقُهُمْ حَصَلَ لَهُ الْأَذَى وَالْعَذَابُ مِنْ وَجْهٍ آخَرٍ. And if he agrees with them, then he will find that he is harmed and punished in another way, meaning by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala will humiliate him for compromising in his religion. فَلَا بُدَّ لَهُ مِنَ النَّاسِ وَمُخَالَطَتِهِمْ وَلَا يَنْفَكُّ عَنْ مُوَافَقَتِهِمْ أَوْ مُخَالَفَتِهِمْ. And so it is unavoidable for him to come in contact with people and to intermingle and socialize with the people. Brothers, move close. وَلَا يَنْفَكُّ عَنْ مُوَافَقَتِهِمْ أَوْ مُخَالَفَتِهِمْ. And at the same time, he must either agree with them or disagree with them. وَفِي الْمُوَافَقَةِ أَلَمٌ وَعَذَابٌ. And if he was to agree with them, while they are upon incorrect iradat, incorrect aspirations and intentions, and they are upon incorrect tasawwarat, concepts and perceptions, and they are upon incorrect beliefs, and he was to co-sign what they were upon and compromise his belief system for their belief system. And if he was to compromise as regards that, فَفِي الْمُوَافَقَةِ أَلَمٌ وَعَذَابٌ. Then he would feel the pain of that, and he would experience a punishment from that. إِذَا كَانَتْ عَلَى بَاطِلٍ. If he was to agree with them in falsehood. وَفِي الْمُخَالَفَةِ أَلَمٌ وَعَذَابٌ إِذَا لَمْ يُوَافِقْ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ وَاعْتِقَادَتِهِمْ. He said, and likewise, if he was to oppose them, he would feel some type of discomfort. He would feel some type of pain. He will feel some type of punishment from them, or some type of censure from them, or rebuke from them, if he does not agree with their desires and their beliefs. وَإِرَادَتِهِمْ وَلَا رَيْبَ أَنْ أَلَمَ الْمُخَالَفَةِ لَهُمْ فِي بَاطِلِهِمْ أَسْهَلُ مِنَ الْأَلَمِ الْمُرَتَّبِ عَلَى مُوَافَقَتِهِمْ. He said, and there is no doubt that any type of discomfort or pain that he will experience because he opposes what they are upon will be much easier to bear than the pain or the discomfort or the punishment that he will acquire for compromising in his religion. Ayyuhan nas, the affair is tremendous. The affair is tremendous because, as we said, the affair of al-ilmaniyah, of separating religion from the affairs of life, it goes far beyond politics. It goes into al-iqtisad. It goes into a person's economics, how a person earns his money and spends his money. Does he understand those things that are compulsory upon him as regards shurut sihhatul bay', those things that are necessary, that are conditions and stipulations for a valid business transaction that will make his money halal and not make him fall under the wa'id of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, alladhi la yantiqu an al-hawa, the one who does not speak from his desires, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he said, alayhi salatu wa salam, ما من جسم نبت من سحت إلا كانت النار أولى بها. That there is no human body that grows as a result of devouring illegal earnings, except that the hellfire is most likely for it, except that it will most likely be in the hellfire. This is a tremendous affair. Al-Imam wal-Khalifatul Rashid, Umar ibn al-Khattab, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, as is collected by Bukhari in Mu'allaq form, he said, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu wa ardahu, Amir al-Mu'mineen, he said, لا يبع في سوقنا من لم يتفقه في الدين. Let no one do business in our marketplace who didn't learn his religion. Let no one do business in his marketplace who didn't learn his religion. For verily any business transaction, يدخله الظلم, that has dhulm within it, that has any type of oppression in it, whether it is a person oppressing himself by earning his money in a manner that is harmful for himself, in a job and a trade that is harmful for his religion, or spending it upon that which is harmful for himself or for others, or selling that which is harmful for himself or for others. Anything that involves dhulm, anything that involves riba, which is dhulm likewise, anything that involves usury and interest, anything that involves al-ghish wal-khida', anything that involves trickery or deception, anything that involves al-jahala, anything that involves serious ambiguity in what is being sold and what is being paid for it, ambiguity in a business contract. The ulama of Islam, they say these four things: oppression, interest and usury, deception and lying and trickery, and al-jahala, an ambiguity in a business contract where the terms of business have not been laid out and they are not clear what a person is involving himself in. They say all of these things يَعُودُ عَلَى الْعَقْدِ بِالْبُطْلَانِ, and they cause the business contract that a person is engaged in. They cause how the person is earning his money or selling his money, whenever any of those things are involved, to be batil, meaning that which is of no benefit and that which is harmful for the person. And so a person, if he separates his religion from how he earns his money, you find a person before they enter into a university, بغض النظر عن حكم الدخول عن حكم دخول المدارس المختلطة, and without even looking at the issue of whether or not it's permissible for them to go to the free mixing universities, without even looking at that, you find a person will enter into a 4-year course, a 6-year course, a 8-year course, a 12-year doctorate program, something that is haram min awalihi ila akhirihi. It is haram from its beginning to its end. And he didn't look at the ruling of the religion. He says, I'm free to do as I please. You find the sisters, they want to go into the universities and the nursing programs. And they go into programs where they have to take off the jilbab al-shar'i. They have to take off the abaya al-shar'iyah, the legislated clothing, and put on scrubs and throw on a little amira scarf on top of their head and say that is hijabun shar'i, that they are addressed modestly. Say, anna laki hadha. Where did you get that, sister? Man sa'alt. Who did you ask? Who did you consult before you took off what Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala ordered you to put on? They take the affair of religion and they separate it from their day-to-day life. They separate it from how they raise their children. They separate it from the dealings of the wife and the dealings of the husband. The husband, he does what he wants as he wants, without looking at what Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala has ordered as regards the raising of his children and the maintenance of his wife. And the roles have been reversed. And he has taken a page from the cultural Marxists who marched through the institutions and they destroyed the education system, and they destroyed the family structure, and they pushed androgyny, which is making the man and the woman in the house equal to one another. And the roles were reversed. And the roles were reversed. And some of the brothers are sitting at home while the women are outside of the house. And the women are outside of the house working, supporting their families. And they have to take off their Islamic clothing to do that. And they have to compromise in their religion to do that. We say, where did you get that, brother? Where did you get that, brother? You find a brother driving a brand new vehicle while he's sending his children to the schools of the kuffar. You say, Ya akhi, subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Al-Imam wa Shaykh Al-Mawridi rahimahullah ta'ala, he said in Adab al-Dunya wa Deen, he said that the relationship, the alaqa, bain al-walid wal-walad, that the connection, that the relationship between the parent and the child goes back to two things. It goes back to two things. Al-ishfaq wal-mahabba. The first is fitri. The first is something that is natural. And no matter what happens between them and their child, it will never go away. And the second is something that is muktasab. It is something that is earned by the child. So the first is al-ishfaq. I mean that they are concerned and worried about any type of harm befalling their child. It doesn't matter what the child fell into. It doesn't matter what the child did in disobedience. It doesn't matter how bad the child rebelled and how far the child went from home. They are always worried about their child. They are always concerned about their child. While the matter of love, he said, is something that, although it has a degree of being natural, it is something that is earned by the behavior of the child towards the parent. Has a picture of the people left them to that point. Has what is natural and what is innate left the people to the point that they don't even care about the traps that they are setting for their children by sending them to the schools of the kuffar. That they don't care about the dangers that they will see by attending those schools. Because they have separated the affairs of religion from the affairs of their day-to-day life. They have separated the affairs of the religion from their akhlaq, from their morality and from their character and from their conduct. And they have taken the mabda', they have taken the concept of the secularists to say, al-wasa'ilu tubarrir al-ghayat, that the ends justify the means. Al-ghayat tubarrir al-wasa'il, that the ends justify the means. That the ends justify the means, so long as I am trying to do something that I believe that eventually will bring about some good for myself or for others. In the long run, I can discard my religion and put it to the side. And I can turn my eyes from the orders of Allah and from the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we say that the basis of the community is, as Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala explained, obedience to Allah and the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Islam is a cure. Hada wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak. الحمد لله وحده وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على من لا نبي بعده وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. قال الشيخ عبد الرحمن بن الناصر السعدي رحمه الله تعالى: ومن أعظم علوم الغيب التي أخبر بها القرآن وأبداها وأعادها أنه أخبر أنه لا سبيل إلى صلاح البشر وسعادتهم وفلاحهم في الدنيا والآخرة إلا باتباع هذا الدين والأخذ بإرشاده وهدايته. He said that from the greatest knowledge of the unseen that was informed of in the Quran and repeated over and over again in the Quran is that in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah informed us that there is no way to correct the affairs of the human race and to bring about happiness and success for the human race as regards their worldly affairs and as regards their hereafter, to bring about what will benefit them and protect them from what was harmful for them in this world and in the hereafter, except by following this tremendous religion and taking hold of his guidance and his direction. وَهَذَا أَمْرٌ لَا يَسْتَرِيبُ فِيهِ أَحَدٌ. And this is an affair that no one can have doubt about. فَإِنَّ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ فِي عَصْرِ الْخُلَفَاءِ الرَّاشِدِينَ والملوك الصالحين لما كانوا محتدين بعلمه وإرشاده وتربيته الخاصة والعامة صلحت دنياهم كما صلح دينهم. He says, for verily this nation, in the time of the rightly guided Khalifas, in the time of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam radiyallahu anhum, and in the time of the righteous kings that followed them, لما كانوا محتدين بعلمه, so long as they were seeking guidance in the knowledge of the religion, and the directions of the religion, and the tarbiyah, and the cultivation and nurturing of this religion for those that are from the elites and those that are from the commonality of the people. So long as they were in this condition, saluhat dunyahum, then they found their worldly affairs in a state of correctness and rectitude. They were in a state of prosperity. They were in a state of khusbun warruqiyun wa taqaddum. They were in a state of prosperity, a state of progress, a state of advancement constantly, just as the affairs of their deen were in a state of correctness. Their dunya was in a state of correctness, just as their deen was in a state of correctness. It was reported from Aun ibn Abdullah. He said, كان أهل الصلاة إذا التقوا يوصي بعضهم بعضا وإذا غبوا كتب بعضهم إلى بعض بثلاث وصايا. He said that when the people of righteousness used to come in contact with one another, when the people of righteousness used to come in contact with one another, they would advise each other with 3 advices. And when they would be far from one another, they would write communications and letters to one another, advising each other with the following 3 advices. من عمل لآخرته كفاه الله دنيا. Whoever works for his hereafter, then Allah will suffice him concerning his dunya. Whoever works for his hereafter, Allah will suffice him concerning his life, his worldly affairs, and his wealth. وَمَنْ أَصْلَحَ مَا بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ اللَّهِ أَصْلَحَ اللَّهُ مَا بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ النَّاسِ. And whoever corrects what is between him and Allah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will correct what is between him and the people. And the third thing that I forget now was shahid. And the point is what was mentioned here, that whoever works for their hereafter, and whoever works according to their religion, then Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala will suffice him concerning the things of the dunya. قال رحمه الله تعالى وصاروا المثل الأعلى في القوة والعزة والعدل والرحمة وجميع الكمالات المستعد لها البشر. He said, and when they were in that condition, acting upon their religion, they became the highest similitude, the highest example on the face of the earth of power and strength and might and justice and mercy and every perfect quality that mankind can incorporate. وَلَمَّا ضَيَّعُوا هِدَايَتَهُ الْعِلْمِيَّةَ وَالْعَمَلِيَّةَ حَلَّلُوا وَانْحَلُّوا. And when they neglected the guidance of the religion as regards learning it and acting upon it and teaching it, تَحَلَّلُوا وَانْحَلُّوا, then they started to fall apart and they started to collapse as a society. وَلَمْ يَزَالُوا فِي نَقْصٍ وَضَعْفٍ وَظُلَّةٍ حَتَّى يُرَاجِعُوا دِينَهُمْ. And they will never cease to be and they will never stop being in a state of weakness and in a state of humiliation until they take back their religion and return and recapture their religion. ثم في مقابلة ذلك من العجب العجيب الذي ليس بغريب ارتقاء الأمم الأخرى في هذه الأوقات في الصناعات المدهشة والاختراعات الخارقة المعجزة والقوة الضخمة أنهم لم يزدادوا بها إلا شقاء. He said, may Allah have mercy upon him. And then what is from the most astonishing of things, however it is not strange, is that the other nations, even though they advanced and progressed as regards the industries that are astonishing and the inventions that are miraculous that came about over the course of the last 100 years or more. He said, although they advance as regards these things, وَالْإِخْتِرَاعَاتِ الْخَارِقَةِ الْمُعْجِزَةِ وَالْقُوَّةُ الضَّخْمَةِ, as regards these inventions and as regards these skills and these trades and these industries, and as regards the great power, the great physical or military power that they have, أَنَّهُمْ لَمْ يَزْدَادُوا بِهَا إِلَّا شَقَاءٍ, that the more they had of it, the more miserable they became, and the more doomed they became. حَتَّى صَارَتْ حَضَارَتُهُمْ التي يعجبون بها ويخضع لها غيرهم مهددة كل وقت بالتدمير العام. He said, to the point that the society and the civilization that they possessed, the civilization that they had, that they were astonished with, and that the rest of the nations had submitted to, that these civilizations that they had found themselves threatened with destruction at every moment. Found themselves threatened with destruction. They had harnessed the means of warfare to such an extent that they could blow up the world 1,000 times in less than 1 hour. They could blow up the world 1,000 times. Missiles from here, missiles from there. Biological warfare. Even weaponizing the weather and making an attempt to do so. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. This is the reality of the affair of removing the affair of religion from the day-to-day lives of the people. That when they increase, no matter what they increase in of wealth or power or status, لَمْ يَزْدَادُوا بِهَا إِلَّا شَقَاءً. That they will only increase in their misery and their worry and their gloom. وَجَمِيعُ سَاسَتِهِمْ وَعُلَمَائِهِمْ فِي حَيْرَةٍ عَظِيمَةٍ مِنْ تَلَافِ هَذَا الْخَطَرِ وَلَنْ يُتَلَافَ إِلَّا بِاتِّبَاعِ مَا جَاءَ بِهِ الْقُرْآنِ وَالْإِسْتِرْشَادِ بِهَدِي مُحَمَّدٍ صَلَى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. He said, and all of their politicians and all of their learned persons are in a state of tremendous bewilderment of how to solve this danger and deal with this danger. And it will never be solved until they follow what has come in the Quran and until they take guidance from the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Al-Jami' bayn al-ilmi wal-amali wal-adl wal-rahmati wal-hikmah wa-maslahat al-ruhi wal-jasad wa-islah al-deen wa-dunya wal-akhirah. The guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that brings together knowledge and action and justice and mercy and wisdom and that which is truly of a greater good for mankind. وَالْرُوحِ وَالْجَسَدِ, and that which is of a greater benefit for the souls of the people and for the bodies of the people as regards their religion and as regards their worldly affairs, and rectifying the affairs of religion and the affairs of the world and the hereafter. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and yuthabbitana ala al-Islam, to make us firm upon Islam and to allow us to meet Him tabaraka wa ta'ala wa huwa anna rad, wa He is pleased with us. Hada wa sallallahu